Hello everybody, welcome to another video. My name is Infiniti, and if you don't know, I'm the face, the voice, and the hands behind all the content you see here on this channel and behind the website InfinitiCraftingCompany.com. Today I am back with channel chat 143. I have no idea what I'm going to name this at the time of this recording, so we're just going to roll with it. I do want to say first and foremost that I'm going to conduct an experiment, okay? And so it's kind of on the techie side. So if you see this video up and it looks like it's live streaming, I'm not actually live at this very moment. This is pre-recorded and it's just on a continuous loop. I have an idea and I want to see if I can make said idea happen later in the year. So I will be talking more about it probably later in November. But anywho, beyond that, happy November. I am excited because November is my birthday month and I have quite a few things going on, but the main thing right now is that I have a couple of promotions going on for the entire month. So if you want to support the channel and make my birthday super great, then you can engage with the sale. Like I said, it'll be going on all month long. This is usually how I celebrate, so this year I am offering 26% off site-wide, so I believe that also applies to my merch store stuff that's integrated into the website as well. So if you've had your eye on anything at all that I have been posting, then now is the time to get it, because I will not be hosting another discount until next November on the website. So it's now or never, guys. So that applies to all my pottery stuff, new patterns, my handmade items, things like that. I also have a promotion going on for Hey Craftepreneur, which is my, you can compare it to like a Patreon type deal for my crochet and knitting patterns. With the code Let Me Stitch, you can get 21% off your first month on monthly subscriptions for that. It's actually closer to 21%, but I digress. So if you want to support the channel and keep stuff ongoing and whatnots, then that is the thing to sign up for, and I'm really big on that, and I'll probably talk about it later in this video as it mellows out and I sit back. I kind of plan on it being a little lengthier than normal so that it's a more interesting stream. Like I said, conducting an experiment. So grab your project, grab your coffee or your tea, and kick back with me, and we're going to get into the video. So I don't know what take of this video this is. I feel kind of scatterbrained, and I guess there's just been a lot going on in the month of October, just generally. I am again in classes, so I had an 8-week crash course in macroeconomics or something. I like economics, but I also needed it to continue, to complete my minor. So now, as of the beginning of October, I have my business minor, and then I graduate in May, and so I'm excited about that. And now I just really get to sit back and focus on my artistry, so that's really cool because, I mean, believe it or not, I'm kind of creative, so it's always a great time when I can sit back and just make things and do stuff and explore ideas and whatnots, which I've been doing a bit of. Let me see. So yeah, that's over. So I've had a little bit more time to sit back and kind of work on stuff for Hey Craftepreneur. Like I said, that's been my focus. Last month I updated my ducky poof pattern. It's one of my fan favorites. It's probably one of my oldest also, along with the nearly solid shawl. That written pattern was in desperate need of update, and so I have done so. And so now the new pattern, I just added it to the handmade shop. I'd updated it probably like a week or a week and a half prior for Hey Craftepreneur members, so if they wanted to dive in and make that stuff, they could have. But I just put the PDF in the handmade shop yesterday, along with a couple of other little updates. I updated the escapist bookmarks. There's 2 more colors for that, and I feel like there was something else I did, but it's not coming to me at the moment. Another thing that I did, I completed a second project for Hey Craftepreneur, and it's been kind of an Easter egg in the backgrounds of these channel chats and other videos on this channel for almost 12 months, so it's kind of funny nobody caught on to it before now. But that's fine. I will be showing that off today because there's quite a few projects that I've been bouncing around, and I'll just talk a little bit about them. Like I said, later in the video, I will also talk more about Hey Craftepreneur because it is something of a passion project, and it has been making a lot of internal progress since I came back and booted it up mid-July. So again, I'll talk more about that. Alright, so as far as projects go, it has been quite productive. Like I said, I've updated the Escapist bookmark listing. So the actual bookmarks, I started listing those in my shop now. People that like them, they can get them. There's 2 more colors, black, and then there's this color I call turquoise because I couldn't call it quite teal and I couldn't call it quite turquoise, so it's just together. Anyway, those 2 colors are in there in addition to the orange and the wasabi colors, and then there's the deluxe ones that come in the red and like the purple, and there's this heavier pink. I have so many other spools of thread, but I was just really glad to get the black out of the way because I was having second thoughts after I stared at them, like this is quite dark. But I got it done nonetheless. I'm very happy with them. So those are available. I got through updating my duck poof, which, here it is, it's behind me. So I updated that, and I have plenty of pictures in the updated pattern and in the blog post for members, so you guys can see step by step what's going on with that. I also recorded the video, step-by-step video, so if you're unfamiliar with how I've been doing my patterns and updating my patterns, last year I committed to making video tutorials for my patterns, for like supplemental things, but also some people don't follow written patterns, and that's totally fine. For a while I didn't either, and so I just wanted to make it possible for people to make my stuff if they wanted to without worrying about having to learn how to read written patterns necessarily. So that's been a fun thing to do, and just go back and revisit and make the changes that need to be changed to the pattern. So this one's no different. You don't have to use safety eyes like I used with that one. That one's made for an older kid. I call him a kid, but an older person, so I felt comfortable using the safety eyes. In the pattern, I do also include instructions on how to crochet the eyes. So if you're making them for smaller kids, then there's no safety concern there. So that's available there, and then my Easter egg, I guess I will talk about it now. So I know at least starting in late December, early January, I have had these in the backgrounds of my videos. I've done a couple of reels where these have made an appearance, or I've been working on them, things like that. And it has taken a lot of development and experimentation and wheel turning to get these to turn out right. These are knee socks that I have made on the Centro knitting machine, and I am very happy with the results of them. I think they look great. They feel comfortable. These have the knitted heels, if I slide it back on the foot properly. These have knitted heels on them, but of course you guys know that I released, under Hey Craftepreneur, I released the updated crocheted heels. So they look knitted, but they're actually crochet, and they fit comfortably and all of that. And then I did the knitted afterthought heel as well. So these tend to be exclusive patterns because for me it's difficult to write down like full-on written instructions and explain things I feel clearly for the machine. So I just make maker notes and maybe some of the step-by-step process, but most of the tutorial is within the videos that I record for these things. So with this video tutorial, I go over how to achieve the length of it, and actually here's one of the ones that I did for the tutorial. I just go over how to get it from the top part to the bottom part, and I leave the heel up to you to do. So if you remember, you have access to those older videos and you can go back and watch them and put in your heel that way. But the main part of it was getting this top part in and working in the increases and decreases to get it to fit above the calf so it actually reaches up to the knee. And if I can, I'm going to try to like model one. It's always weird and awkward trying to model socks. So yeah, but I just want to show off how they fit. They're very comfortable, and I am so glad that the weather kind of sort of started turning here in Missouri, just briefly though, because I was able to wear some of my other knitted socks that I made on the Centro throughout the month of October, and that was kind of fun. The dark pair that I made with the special like no longer available yarn, I got to wear those. Those were cool. And then I got to wear the other ones that I made back in like March or February that were kind of pink and gray. And fun fact, those, I was actually going to use those to show people how to knit the heels on their socks, but I screwed up somewhere during the recording process, and I was so upset because I had most of the tutorial done, and I screwed up somewhere, and I was like, and I had to come back and start all the way over and make a totally new pair of socks, but it was fine. But I got it done, and those socks feel great on the foot too. And I don't know, this is just, I guess because it's a project that I developed, and I guess just because I developed it, I don't know, but I really have a special spot in my heart for these socks, and I think you guys will enjoy them too. I find that you guys watch that video en masse quite a bit. So if you want to learn how to make these socks in time for the holidays, you'll have to sign up for Hey Craftepreneur. Like I said at the beginning of the video, you can get almost 21% off of your first month when you join if you want to make these socks. And if you want to make these socks and then bounce, that's fine. But I can almost guarantee you'll want to stay because I'm constantly adding to that video library. Since I came back in mid-July, I've now got 9 of my patterns loaded in there, so it's like 9 out of 40. And so I'm making good progress, even though sometimes it feels like I'm not, and I'm just like, oh my god, why am I so slow? But I'm actually not. So it's nice because I was doing my newsletter. I always like write that a week in advance or so, and usually during my newsletter writing, I sit back and I kind of reflect on the stuff that happened the month prior and what I'm planning. And I just realized that I've actually done a lot for this program so far, and then I've added little extra thingies in here that I actually hadn't anticipated doing, but nonetheless I've enjoyed implementing. Hey Craftepreneur members get access, like I said, to my full pattern library and any future things that I add to it and the bonuses and things like that. I haven't done a bonus in a minute, but I've also been kind of pressed on time, so I don't know, maybe December I'll be able to do a bonus thingy, maybe, I don't know, I hope so. But nonetheless, full pattern library. I kind of rotate out the projects between knitting, crochet, and the Centro. I don't know what I'm going to do after these socks. I have like one more sock idea for this Centro knitting machine, and then I think I'm going to start going and experimenting with the other ideas that I've cooked up for this machine that I have not talked about yet. So that's going to be interesting. And then not only that, let me see, I have the members forum, which I update whenever new patterns get added, because the members forum is usually for like if you need help or support or anything, but I'm going to take it as a good thing that the people who have signed up already haven't needed my help beyond the video, because I haven't had anybody to comment in there yet. So just going to keep that there for now, but it's there if you need it. I've also relaunched my Hey Craftepreneur gear, which actually wasn't in the merch shop before. So I relaunched my merch shop back in January, and I'd taken the Hey Craftepreneur stuff out because at that time I sunset the program, and only recently, like I said, mid-July, decided to reopen it and like rebrand it and everything. So I've re-released that logo on merch items in the shop, and so members get a special discount code for those items in the merch shop, just because, like, you know. So that's there. I feel like there was something else. I do have a whole list of the perks, though, that you get with the program, and I post it from time to time. So if you've been through my community tab a little bit, you've no doubt seen it. I've sent it out in, I think, October's newsletter as well. So, like, it's out there. it can be found, but I will pop it up on the screen over here. This latest experiment that I am planning, it eventually will tie into that base tier of Hey Craftepreneur. So there's only one tier. Like I said, you have a couple payment options, but it's just one tier, and I never plan on increasing the price for it, which I know is kind of a gutsy thing to say, but I feel like I want my designs and stuff to be accessible for the most part. And some people, like, again, like I said in the last channel chat, some people are just adamant about not buying patterns, and that's fine. This is not for them. But, you know, I feel like there's a certain price point where patterns feel a little excessive, and then there's a certain point where it's like, okay, you're underdoing it. And so I really wanted to find a happy medium that would allow me to continue to write patterns and put them out there and continue to pay for my software and things like that, and also be able to provide you guys a quality product that I believe in, and I undoubtedly believe in myself. So that being said, I think that stemmed from me just having these sock tutorials behind the members program. But again, if you want to support the content, that is there for you. If you want to just make one thing and bounce, that's also fine. It's there. You can sign up. You can cancel it anytime. I understand. So beyond that, what else have I done? I have picked up my Fresh Peaks again. So you guys saw it quite a bit during Vlogmas. If you tuned in to any of those episodes, I was probably working on it. And I know this is bunched up, but it's fine. I am working on the front panel of the vest, and so now it's like right above, I mean not above, below the bust. So now I'm working on those panels to finish it off. And then once I do that, it's going to be like a speed run to get through the hem and the sleeves and the collar. Not because I'm rushing it, but because they just go by fast because it's a chunky knit. And I'm looking forward to sitting back and making the stitch tutorial for it. The actual vest tutorial has been in progress for a couple months now, and so that's almost there. Like I said, I have to just get through those last few segments of that and just format the pattern and stuff like that for Hey Craftepreneur. I am being ambitious and I'm hoping to get this thing done by my birthday, which is November 16th. So hopefully I can get that to my members if y'all want to make that. I high-key wanted to make an ugly colored version of it, but you know, I haven't actually had a budget for yarn in a while, and so even less so now with the yarn that I actually use for this sweater, so I decided against it. But that is an idea, you know, aside from the ugly Christmas sweater that I did last year, which actually came out for members today. So last year, if you were not around in December, November when I was doing this make-along thing, I kind of week by week just designed a sweater for a Christmas party. Not that I go to Christmas parties, but I designed one because I like to wear flamboyant things from time to time and be extra and obnoxious with it. So I designed it, and it was cool and all, but if you wanted to make it now, you would have to go back and find all the individual make-along videos and follow along with that. So what I did last year is I put all those segments together properly so that people could follow that video through its entirety, but I also wrote out the instructions. So the written instructions are only available in the pattern and behind Hey Craftepreneur. So today I have the pattern and the thing for Hey Craftepreneur up at the same time. Actually, I was very shocked by my efficiency for once. So that's there if you want to get cracking on it. It's a very fun and pretty simple project. It was actually pretty quick to get through. I think I made the whole sweater in 3 weeks, but that was because I was doing it for a video. And my anticipated second project for this month is the Fresh Peaks sweater vest for my Hey Craftepreneur members. You guys won't believe this, or maybe you will. I don't know. You guys also stitch, but I forgot that I designed another sweater last season. It was for New Year's, and it's gorgeous. Okay, I love it. I bought enough yarn at the time for it, and to make a second one, because I was like, ooh, I'm going to want to make a video tutorial for this sweater. It's a crochet pattern. I totally forgot about it, and I didn't stumble across it again until a couple weeks ago. So like I said, October was crazy for me. Back in March, my car got dented up by a deer, and it took until, what was that? Yeah, it took until September for me to get it into a shop, and then it took them like 3 weeks to find the parts for my car because they don't make it anymore because it's old. And so, yeah, that was the beginning of October for me. And then the following Tuesday, found out my front brakes were basically relying on the good Lord. So got those changed out, and then I know, and then within the same month, I had a leak in this basement, and come to find out, like, the hot water line to my basement sink was rusted out because it's probably the original piping. So I was glad to find out it was something simple and it could be remedied by just turning it off. But yeah, I've had an eventful month, and it's just like, I don't know, the whole mental has been something else to battle with. But anyway, I said all that to say I didn't recall making this sweater until I rediscovered it, because I had to move my bins away from the wall, because, you know, when he found the leak, and we looked at the pipe wrong, and it just started gushing, so like water started coming over here in my craft room, and I'm like, oh my god, my life is over. Like, I almost started crying while I was pulling stuff away from the wall. But you know, crisis averted, it's all good. But I do want to get around to making that sweater, but I don't know if I'm gonna get it done in the month of December. Like, prospectively, maybe. It would be nice to get it done for New Year's, because I think I've made it a habit of mine to release patterns for both Christmas and New Year's over the last few years. So, I don't know, I'm thinking about it, but I'm going to pop a picture up of it. I really like it. I haven't worn it yet. It's been blocked and all that, but I just haven't worn it yet, and it looks gorgeous. And it's green. My version is green. And so I'm going to make this second one at some point and maybe put it in the shop. I don't know, because I don't need all these sweaters. I have so many handmade items that I just never get around to wearing, because half of my life is this thing in the craft room, but then the other half of my life is in a muddy, dusty room because I like to do ceramics so much. So I rarely get to wear my handmade things. Like, my grandma makes me sweaters, and I can only wear them on certain days because I don't go into the art studios on certain days. So it's like, it's just a mess. But anyway, this sweater in particular, I wouldn't be wearing in school. I'd be wearing it somewhere, I don't know, maybe to the sushi place. But I haven't been out for sushi in probably 2 years. So, that being said, I have no idea when I'm going to have the chance to wear that beyond wearing it on camera to show you guys how it fits and stuff. But it's exciting nonetheless. I could show you guys the yarn if I could find it, but I do not see it. So it's going to have to be a mystery for now. And oh my gosh, I know I'm going to digress here a little bit, but I don't know, I've been feeling kind of unproductive in the ceramic studio this semester, and I'm like, this figures. My second to last semester, and I feel like I'm behind. I'm actually not. I've made quite a few things, but I think that because I've spent less time in the studio, obviously, I just haven't had as much time to make the things that I've wanted to make or get to the things that I've mapped out in my head or sketched out. But I have been working on these pumpkin jar bowl things, and I think they're darling. They're for the autumn. I don't really do Halloween, so they're for autumn. And the first one came out super successful, and I was very happy with that. But a couple weeks ago, I was going through, like, I don't know, like a little rut there, and so I'm just like, nothing's turning out right. Screw this. I can't do this anymore. And now I have a couple in progress, so hopefully they'll turn out okay, and I won't have to flip a table. But that first one is really nice, and I actually put out a reel with it in there. I just hadn't shown off how it turned out, but I'm excited to get that fired. I bought this glaze. It's called Jungle Gems, and it has crystals in it that bloom. So hopefully that'll turn out right, and I'll have a successful little pumpkin yarn bowl that I can put in the shop for whenever. That is going to be one of the most off-season shop updates that I will ever do, and I'm laughing at myself now because I fuss about the fact that I see pumpkins almost starting in February all the way through probably December 15th. So, you know, to do that shop update that time of year will be one of those ironic points. But anyway, beyond that, I finished the other front panel for that cardigan I started, and I'm still waiting to see if they will be restocking this yarn, and if I'll be able to get more of the yarn in general. But I finished the other front panel of it, and I have enough yarn left over to do a short sleeve, and no way is it the sleeve that I want to do, but I might make it work and then use a different yarn when I decide to share it with my members, prospectively for the spring. We will see. I don't know. It's weird trying to plan this stuff, because like on a base level, when you are designing things, you kind of design in the off season. So in the summer, I'm working with wool, because when the cold weather comes around, I don't want to be speed racing to release something for the cold weather. Or like with the New Year's sweater, I think I started it in December and it didn't get finished until the beginning of January. I don't like doing that, so I tend to design in the off season. So when it's hot outside, I'm designing with cold weather stuff, and then when it's cold outside, I'm designing hot weather stuff. So anyway, we'll see what happens with that cardigan pattern then, and which patterns I'm deciding to bring back to the forefront. And like going back and looking at some of my patterns, I think that some of them are like simple and beginner friendly enough where I don't really need to touch them. I'm also kind of going back over the ones that I've released on video on this channel, like the bookmark pattern or the airway shawl. I might tweak the patterns for those at some point. I don't know if I'll make them freebies again, or like what I'll do with those, because like there's some that are just very, very simple that I don't know if I want to just put behind the members wall, you know. So that's something to think about as time. Now, finally, for this last project that I have started for no reason. Actually, I have a reason, but it's one of those patterns that explains exactly why I have bonus patterns for this program, because I just come up with these ideas at the spur of the moment, and I've been doing a really good job lately of not acting on my design impulses, so which is a good thing, so I don't overwhelm myself. But this one specifically is just near and dear to my heart, and I really wanted to get cracking on it as soon as possible, and so I did. And it's using the leftover yarn that I had from when I finished the Breath of Autumn pocket shawl. Yes, I will get around to it. Again, it's an endless cycle. But it's leftover yarn from that, and this one actually doesn't have a pocket on it yet, but it is a scarf. And of course it involves cables, because anything that I decide to do will always probably involve a cable or two. It's fine. But I really liked these two separate stitches that I found while I was browsing one day, and I'm like, you know what? That looks good. That would look really good on a scarf. And so that's what I started doing. And I'm in my, let me see. Like that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In my 7th repetition of it. So the really fun thing about this cable, I had never done this one before, but it's really easy to count your repetitions from the little divots in the, I guess the right side of the cable. Oops, if I hold it up here. So naturally I don't know, the way that I end up writing my patterns is that I write down like a hand note or something, and I end up scribbling all my notes on one part of it, usually on a bigger sheet of paper because I have a binder full of these things, but I end up doing all my musings or something on one side and then actually writing out my process, my pattern instructions on another side. And so that's what I did. So this one's a very simple 9-row or 8-row repetition, believe it or not. And it is my goal to have it done in time to do, for one, to just gift it, because this is a gift for somebody, but it's also my goal to have this done for December. I think I said December on Twitter. I'll have to look at it, but I want to get this out for Hey Craftepreneur members, and then because of the name of this pattern, which is a secret for now, I plan on releasing it in February to the general public, and I think that gives me enough time to just make sure everything's written out great, the pictures look nice and all that, and also just to have the materials on hand to make that second scarf and do the tutorial for it. So I'm excited about it. I have plans to add in secret pockets on this, but we will see how much yarn I have left over. I think I had 3 skeins left over, and this is all just one skein so far, and I have very little of it left. So I am thinking I might get 8 repetitions total out of one skein, which is quite nice in my opinion. So yeah, this is my passion project right now, and then like I said, I'm working on all these other things to have out there, and it's just a busy time for me right now in this studio. So if I'm a little MIA, you might imagine why now. So there's that. So yeah, I have no idea, other than this scarf, what December might bring as far as design releases go, but I know it's going to be something fun. Like I said, I have something for the main channel here on the YouTubes and the Rumbles. I have something planned. I need to sit up and kind of hash out the technical side of how I'm going to get this to relay over to Rumble a little bit, because I've never streamed over there and I've been wanting to, but again, it's just been a time constraint thing, and usually I just end up doing something for YouTube and it mirrors over there. But I think that what I'm planning to do might revive my channel a little bit over there, because it's been a little flatlined for a while and I don't want that. So anyway, I'm always a busy girl with a lot of things on her plate, but I don't think I'd rather have it. I don't think I'd have it any other way. There we go. I've been so tongue-tied and I feel so scatterbrained lately, so bear with me here. So all the developments that you see happening on the channel, it's just, it's just me sitting back in this subterranean wonderland of yarn at odd hours recording stuff. And so if you want to continue to support my creativity and see this stuff continue beyond May next year, which I said at one point I wasn't going to, not on the video, but I said at one point I wasn't going to continue to bring it up, but I feel like I should, so I am. If you want to see my content on this channel, on these public channels, to continue beyond next May, then I ask that, you just support. Even if you're just sharing the pages, that would be a big help. But seriously, just head over to my website, browse a little bit, explore everything I have to offer, maybe buy something, I don't know, or subscribe to Hey Craftepreneur. Really, I'm looking at Hey Craftepreneur for the long term to support the content here on the channel, because that will give me not only the ability to upgrade my equipment and replace equipment as it dies off, because it's over 5 years old, but it also gives me the opportunity to be able to put more time and energy and effort into the content that you see here on the channel. So if you want to make my birthday month and you want to make the rest of my year, then I ask that you head over and sign up for Hey Craftepreneur. Every sign up is precious to me, and I will always do my best to cater to your needs. If you need my help with any of my designs, you get priority, one-on-one, whatever I can do to help hash out things. And then, I never know, because you might see something that confuses you, and I might be able to make a video that I can add in to everything else to kind of supplement the main video and stuff like that. So it's those little things that help me go a long way, and I hope that you guys will want to continue to be here for the long haul on that. I feel like there was something else I wanted to get into today, but that's what it is. I mentioned this a little bit in the last channel chat, right? I do make art at home. So I have a gremlin side of the studio that nobody ever gets to see. It's just very dim. I don't have great lighting for it, so I never really show off me making art in that section of my house. But I have made a few things since I fired up my wheel for the semester, basically, because I realized that I wouldn't have a lot of extra time in the studio, and being at home, I have peace and quiet first and foremost, but then I have a lot more space to think and whatnot than I do when I'm in school and have people constantly doing feedback and things like that. So let me go grab my box. It's not impressive, but let me go get my box of things. Okay, I've grabbed my box of things. So, like I said, I haven't made a lot of things since I fired up my wheel recently, so bear with me. I have made a couple of trips to the pottery store with some friends, so that's been actually kind of fun, because it's not often that I get to hang out with people and just kind of chill and actually, I don't know, I don't want to say vibe with, because it's such a Gen Z thing, but it's just the atmosphere, right? And so anyway, I got to go to the pottery store. It was kind of a girls trip, and bought clay, and that was fun, and tools and whatnots for my space at home. And that's kind of one of the fun things about being in the classes, the ceramic classes, is because I get to see some of the tools that potters use and whatnots, and then decide for myself what in the heck I need and what in the heck I don't need. So anyway, I got this stoneware, this white stoneware, and I've been making mugs here at home. So I'm going to get these fired off eventually. Some of these might end up with a gold luster on them, because I do still have that little luster jar, and I don't want it to go to waste. And I don't really want to put these on my craft table, because clay is dusty, believe it or not. Like, it's already all over my fingers. But I also had an idea for my yarn bowls aside from the pumpkins, and I wanted to do something different with the yarn guides, because the spirals, they're cool and all, but like, why not do something a little different? So this is what I've done with this one, and I want to experiment with it, maybe make a bigger one or something and do stuff. But I've really gotten to improve my skills, and it's something that has brought me a lot of joy. And the fact that my teacher also has acknowledged and complimented my improvements, it made my whole year. You know, it's like when that person that rarely gives compliments actually gives you compliments, it's pretty great. But anyway, I am looking forward to continuing my ceramic art journey beyond things. Because like, I found that over the years with art, I tend to shift between things, which is why I do so much different art. Because I went from drawing and painting to digital art, then back to drawing and painting, and then I was only painting, and then I went back into graphic design, and then now I'm back into traditional art, but painting is no longer the passion that it used to be for me. And it's almost a little sad, but I'm sure I'll be back at some point. Like, I can still paint, I still do well, but it's not the thing that I want to sit up and do. Right now, I'm really finding a lot of joy in just being elbow deep in a bucket of mud and making stuff that relates back to my business. So that's fulfilling for me right now, so I'm just going to go with it. So I don't know whether or not I'm doing YouTube or not, I don't know, but I'll continue doing this and keeping my website afloat and stuff like that. So anyway, not to make that sound ominous or anything, like, I'm not quitting right now. I'm not leaving YouTube right now, but again, that just boils down to the kind of support that I can gain between now and when I graduate. So again, Hey Craftepreneur is very important, and I will continue to emphasize that as I continue on. So if it sounds like an interesting program and you like my content, you like my personality, I don't know, some people just watch my videos for my hands. Which is a weird thing to say, but it is what it is. If you like anything about Infiniti Craft & Co., all I ask is that you consider supporting it outside of the video channel, that's all. Like I said, it's $5.99 plus tax. I think with the tax it was like $6.60 a month. It's like a cup of coffee, more or less. So if I'm worth a cup of coffee to you, then I really appreciate it. I am going to put this to the side. I think what I'm going to do is end this video with like this little intermission thing. So maybe when people loop in, they'll loop in when it comes back around to the beginning of the video. I hope you guys have an excellent rest of your WIP Wednesday. I know I will. And until next time, guys, happy making.